The other story I wanted to highlight at the top of the show was I mentioned the Sarah Palin loss in the special election. Now, this was Alaska's first ranked choice election, and it was a special election for Don Young's seat, who passed away. He held that office for nearly 50 years. It's Alaska's lone House seat. And now Alaska has joined Maine as the first two states to elect someone to Congress with ranked choice voting, which is interesting. I mean, Maine is experimental in this kind of way, but Alaska, some of these states with smaller populations, you see them making some of these gambles. And in this instance, it really did pay off. One, because Sarah Palin, who's a total clown, lost. But two, because the ranked choice system appears to have worked as intended. Most of the voters in Alaska use their first choice on one of the Republican candidates. There was another candidate named Nick Begich, and he was a lot of voters' second choices. But in terms of, if I'm getting this right, his first choice voters, a lot of them did not rank Sarah Palin as their second choice, which in the second round of voting allowed it to break in the way in favor of the Democratic candidate Peltola, who is a former state lawmaker and will be, I believe, the first Alaskan Native representative from Alaska, and she's a Democrat. Palin was already vulnerable because, according to polling in Alaska, 3 in 5 Alaskans have a negative view of her. And that's kind of amazing, given the fact that her celebrity was so tied to her identity in Alaska. But like, she left the governor's office early. She decided to have a reality show, totally messy, totally incompetent. And it seems like, despite the state being red, people understood that.
Yeah. I mean, there's in all these sort of Western states, I mean, North Dakota is a similar thing too. Like, there's a big distrust of like the big city media and that sort of stuff. And she just went to hang out in Fox News green rooms instead of doing her job. And
like, apparently with active COVID, eating in Upper East Side restaurants, despite claiming to be unvaccinated. She had her relationship with Alaska is half-assed. And it seems like voters understood that. But here are some clips. They're a little too small. I wish the reporter had kept filming for a little while.
Yeah, give us the raw footage, guys.
But you get a glimpse of Sarah Palin as she starts to understand that she's losing, and she begins to spiral, blaming ranked choice voting in general.
Ooh, rope lights.
Voting. Yeah. When it comes down to second and third place votes, that's going to decide who's going to win. I mean, really? Alaskans want Joe Biden and Nancy Pelosi?
That's kind of just a little bit of it. And then here's a video of her as she realized that she's essentially lost, because I think that was as votes were coming in. She's cutting this cake, spirits, trying to keep them high. She's realizing that, yeah, I'm going to lose this election.
This cake isn't going to taste as good as you wanted it to.
Surprise, but knowing that the task in front of me is to explain to Alaskans why ranked choice voting is not in the public's best interest.
Oh!
Do Alaskans really want to feel like I just said?
So, I mean, she's ranting about ranked choice voting.
Ranked choice loser is mad.
Sorry, that was the system. Those were the rules. This is like when Hillary Clinton was saying, well, I won the popular vote, but lady, you didn't go to the states. Like, you didn't go to Michigan, you didn't go to Wisconsin. Those were the rules.
People think that was...
That's all right. You understood that this was the system. You had to win in the Electoral College, not in the popular vote.
Also, this is just objectively a better system. I'm not one of these people who thinks like electoral reform, like getting rid of first past the post is the only thing politics needs, or even like the main thing we should emphasize. Because I think like the New York mayor race had a bad example of that going wrong, for instance. But it is objectively better than first past the post.
But look at New York 10. Say if we had ranked choice voting in that instance, one, the progressive should have consolidated behind Yulee New, but another point to be made is that, you know, a lot of people would have made her second choice if they voted for Mondaire Jones or Carolina Rivera.
Right. Like strategically think about it. Like it's obviously not empirical, but you could not, I would never ever think that a number one Carolina Rivera voter or Mondaire Jones voter, or even Liz Holtzman and Joanne Simon were putting Daniel Goldman second.
Right. No, exactly.
I think he would have been out after his first choice votes, honestly.
Yeah.
The 50% of progressive candidates that got those votes of 5 or 6 people.
Right. I mean, we need to, I think, again, it's not number one priority, as you say, Matt, but this should be a system that begins to be replicated throughout the country. In New York, the reason we had it for the mayor's race and not for the federal races is because it's only applying right now to citywide races.
It was via ballot measure for the city that we New Yorkers voted to, you know.
But I want this more for federal elections, right?
Yeah, and Sarah Palin should ask herself why so many people left her off their rankings. Like, that's a simple question.
That would be a little bit too introspective for me. But yeah, so it's a good result there. And there will be another election. This is a special election, but for the time being, this is a success. And
why did she run again?
Because what else is she gonna do?
Dried up, yeah.
Tom Cotton was already tweeting about how ranked choice voting is a way to steal elections. So that's going to be their new talking point about this. And then I saw some Axios guys saying that the ranked choice system it's so convoluted that it undercuts faith in the electoral process. So maybe we shouldn't do it altogether. No.
Oh, yeah, bullshit.
Yeah, right. No, we create more democratic systems and infrastructure. And it's like saying we shouldn't, it was like that take that Andrew Yang had, that we shouldn't target Trump with an investigation because of what the blowback might be. No, you don't make systemic decisions or big decisions about law and about election structures based on potential blowback. That's the language of losers and weakness.
Yeah, make election day a national holiday and people don't have time to brush up on it.
Biden should do that, by the way. I think, you know, it needs to go through Congress apparently. But hey, hold the vote.